Are you looking for a GovTech job that isn't crowded with applicants?
In this episode, we're going to discuss finding GovTech jobs with low competition and the smart ways to get ahead of the game.
Well, this one is going to be interesting because there are so many ways to actually get into GovTech without fighting over, with thousands of other applicants. And the first thing I'm thinking of when I talk about this is look for smaller contracting companies that have government contracts. Because these companies, they are two things: more likely to hire
From outside.
not only from outside, but people with limited experience, and they are likely to hire fast. I would definitely stay away from trying to start to become a Fed, meaning going and finding a job directly with the federal government. This is not only difficult, it's competitive, and the process is very long.
Yeah. If I were to choose the first thing, and of course, if I would be willing to relocate, I think that's where I start.
Yes.
It's way more competitive to get a government contract or a job directly if you're in a big city. Like finding a tech job with the government in Washington, D.C. or in New York, it's going to be very hard. But if you're in Nevada or you're open to move into Nevada, that would work.
Yeah, because there are some research compounds,
Facilities, military compounds
in the middle of the desert in Arizona and Nevada, some places in Florida. These places have a lot of GovTech jobs that people will not move there. And my idea is,
I've heard about some in Colorado. I'm like, offer that to me. I'll go.
Well, it depends on where in Colorado. But the idea to me is how much you're willing to put in terms of effort, how uncomfortable you're willing to be for 6 months to a year to get to your destination. Because these facilities, they usually offer you to sponsor your clearance.
Mm-hmm.
Get the job
and
there.
Relocation packages.
Relocate in the middle of nowhere in the boondocks for a year. Make sure.
I'm sure there's plenty of jobs in Alaska.
Yeah, make sure you get the clearance. Take it hard for a year. And then with that clearance, you can move about and go wherever you want, get whatever raise you want, add any additional certification you want, and get the job you want.
Yeah. The other thing I would do is I would really take networking seriously.
Yeah, because as we know, 75% of the jobs that are offered in the GovTech space are through networking. It's not through applying. So networking, but very strategic networking.
Yeah, if you can find your way to recruiters that are GovTech recruiters, that would make you golden.
Yeah.
Even if you're not ready yet, just having them as part of your network may help.
And also, in terms of amount of jobs, GovTech jobs with low clearances is easier to get. Instead of going for the secret.
I think there's two routes. The more entry levels or the very specialized. The niche ones.
Exactly. So more entry level, and also go for public trust security clearance. This is the lowest one. This is the one with the most job offering around. Get in there, start in the GovTech environment, and then move around from there. To me, that's the best way.
You know what's a job that I've told a lot of people, especially in the DC area, and I feel like they don't listen to me. And I can think about the wordsmiths in my life, like my sister, my brother-in-law. They've been teachers their whole lives. They've written curriculum for schools and stuff. They're ready to move on, and I'm like, go into technical writing.
Yeah, technical writing for the government is the easiest way to get into GovTech. technical writing, and there are some jobs also I want to talk specifically about, like documentation control specialist, technical writer, GIS, which is just geographic
Like
information
information system.
systems,
Yeah.
network technicians.
And that's one of the niches. There's probably less than 200 people in the U.S.
Yeah,
that are specialized in that. You become the number 201 or 205, you are going to find a job.
IT help desk. These are the jobs I would go for to put myself in the door. You see, very important because these have less competition. You are more likely to get a job with a public trust clearance in there, and then you go from up. You go up from there. You know, that's what I
Yeah.
would do. So there are ways because yes, getting in government, there's a lot of competition because it's a great way to have job security, to have job stability, but there are also ways for you to not go and go compete with the hundreds of thousands of people out there. Make a plan, but you can get in there. You can actually break your way into GovTech in some niche areas.